As we were marching, something smells good, like bacon. I say, oh my goodness, maybe they have good food over here. A lot of people come by and they get undressed and they go into a room. And they were making some kind of noise. The room was packed. And all of a sudden, it got quiet. And I asked him, the guy, what happened? He said, well, that was the gas chamber. And the other side, they take him and put him in barrels, and they put him in an incinerator. That's why I smelled bacon.
Abe Piasek was 12 years old when he arrived at Auschwitz. Now 91, Piasek shares his experience with middle and high school students.
And we got off, and I smelled something very, very good, like bacon. I keep telling him, don't hate anybody. I keep telling him, you don't like somebody, but don't hate. That's my motto for the kids.
Here's a book that we actually give to teachers. It's 24 biographies of Holocaust survivors who ended up living in North Carolina.
Chairman of the North Carolina Holocaust Council, Michael Abramson, understands the power of first-hand accounts like Piasek's. With other survivors, Abramson has helped deliver their stories to schools throughout the state.
When you talk about history, that's 75 years ago. People are dying. I want them to see a Holocaust survivor and talk to them, touch them, hear their story, how their friends growing up in school turned against them simply because of the religion, how they saw people shot in the street, and they saw what hate does.
And as generations pass, these stories are crucial to keep the memory of the Holocaust alive.
In a 2018 research study involving 1,350 Americans, 41% of adults and 66% of millennials could not identify Auschwitz, and 11% of adults and 22% of millennials hadn't even heard of the Holocaust or weren't sure they had.
It saddens me greatly that we have failed to look over our shoulder and see from whence we came.
State legislator Craig Horn and the House helped pass a bill that requires North Carolina public schools to add information about the Holocaust and other genocides to the curriculum. With numbers like these, Horn's concern is that history might repeat itself.
Education is too important to leave it only to educators. We're all involved. The only lesson Holocaust survivors have asked us to learn, never forget. Okay, I can't forget something I never knew in the first place.
This bill represents progress. It awaits Senate approval, but supporters feel that teachers can only teach so much. The best education comes from stories shared by the survivors.
But please join me in welcoming Abe Piasek. A dozen students of mine and I took him and his family to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C.
Steve Goldberg is a history teacher at Research Triangle High School. He has worked closely with Piasek to help bring Holocaust stories to life for his students.
He learned there was a cattle car in there, and so he said, I'll go there. And he narrated his liberation from the cattle car at the museum.
I didn't think I would ever set foot in a car. And my heart is pounding.
The students who saw that will never forget that. And he's just this incredibly courageous person, I think, whose mission is to tell his story, coupled with his message of love, don't hate.
It's a possibility, a great possibility, something like this could happen. But I've got to make sure it doesn't happen.
Piasek will always remember the horrors of his past, but his courage provides a powerful reminder that we can change the future. In Chapel Hill, I'm Cambria Hara reporting.